Well, it's another beautiful day today. Snow's back to melting. This is the third warm day we've had since the big snow. Now, I think it's only supposed to get below freezing once all week until Saturday. So things are really starting to warm up. I just wanted to point out, and I know there's probably not a lot of people left who watch me build this porch, but those who complained that this porch roof was going to cave in under first significant snow, it did fine. There's no sagging or anything. And the thing is that even though it's melting, you can see that it accumulated right up here by the roof of the house pretty significantly. I don't know why it did it right there, but it really piled up. And there was no more strain on that than there was anything else. I did the math. I told you earlier in the week, I did the math. This is built in such a fashion that it could actually hold the weight of my truck if I could distribute the weight evenly across it. It's really sturdy. One of the things that was complained about was I used screws to attach it, but each screw holds, I think, 90 pounds. So there's 3 screws here and then 3 screws on the other side. So that's, you know, almost 600 pounds per board. I think it's 90 to like 120 pounds. I forget what it was, but regardless, I figured it up, and it's massive. It's just a little lean-to thing. And then one of the complaints was these boards weren't going to hold because I put them in concrete buckets. You'll see the leaves in that bucket there. That's the beam that comes down. That only gives it stability so it doesn't wobble. That's the only reason that bucket's there. I got 4 buckets, 1 on each beam. But the strength comes in the second beam. You might be able to see there's 2 beams. That beam runs right down to the floor of the porch. So all the weight is on the porch beam. For those who said it wasn't going to work, it did work. I'm sure they're still not around. They just like to come in and complain. Yesterday, the truck got stuck right here in the driveway. I love this truck. It's a little Chevy Colorado 4-cylinder, 2-wheel drive. It got stuck right here in the mud. It got muddy. And it's got traction control. So it's a computer-driven thing. I'm sure you've probably seen it. I don't know. But it's a computer-driven thing. And the computer tells which wheel is supposed to get the most traction. So this wheel was in the snow, so it never spun. It just tried to spin over here on this side. Well, you can disengage that also. It's just a little button. But then it slows the engine down, and it really did a good job. But the problem was it was muddy, so I just threw some rocks down here. Carolyn sat on the tailgate, and it just pulled right out like it was nothing. I've gotten this thing in predicaments before where it was a little sketchy. I thought it was gonna get stuck in that traction control just engages. So this video is just kind of a this or that thing. Talk about some different things, comments, and while I get my chores done. I got about an hour before I have to get inside. I showed you this the other day. The lawnmower kind of plowed some snow with the mower deck. It's got the chains on the wheels of the lawnmower, and it really did a fantastic job doing that. I mean, it didn't scrape it down to the dirt, but boy, it sure did go right through it. And of course, I got the bucket holder, so I got 40 pounds of weight on the back. I can't get the tarp back over the lawnmower because it's so full of snow. It was hard to get off, but it's so full of snow I can't get it to wrap back around, so I got to wait until that melts out a little bit. But there's no precipitation in the forecast, so it'll be fine. Sure do like that lawnmower. It's been really good. I had an old Murray one time, and it just never wanted to start in the wintertime, but this one just pops right over every time. Really like it. So I got to fill the water today. So I'm going to go down and start the generator to let it warm up, because when it's cold, it sure does not like to pull that well pump. I've said that many times before. It's not that cold. It should do okay, but it's just above freezing, I would think. Got to be careful. Our little path here has gotten very slick. Carolyn's actually starting to walk in the snow again because the path here that we've stomped down has gotten really slick, so she's starting to walk in the snow again. This is the chicken signal that they want to come outside and play. I usually let them out for several minutes a day. With the snow being on the ground, I don't want to let them out, take a chance of getting their feet cold and frostbitten. I told you that yesterday. So they're all packed up here. I meant to bring them some mesh. I'll bring them some mesh later, and we'll feed them before I get wrapped up. So right now I want to get the generator started and get that well running. told me I need to replace this well, and I understand what you're saying. It is a vital piece of equipment to the property, but it's not that hard to replace. I can go down to the Tractor Supply store. It's, I don't know, 50 miles away, 60 miles away. I mean, it's a little bit of a trip. I guess I could buy a backup generator and just have it sit around. I might do that one of these days, but as long as this thing's trying to go, I don't see any point in trying to replace it yet. It's been a good generator. I think it's coming up on, I guess it's coming up, I don't know, 3 or 4 years. Being used almost every day. And pretty hard too. So just a little babysitting and TLC, and it does okay. So what I've done is I've taken the case cover off. I've opened up the air filter cover, and it's fine. The filter is still protecting it from getting dirt, but that gives it enough air. I think it's depleted on air trying to get this well to start. Okay, so now I'm going to go up there and we'll get the hose hooked up to the well while that's warming up, and we'll get it filled up. And then while we're filling it up, I'll feed the chickens some mesh. The mesh does two things. One, they really like it. It's just fermented corn is what it is. I mean, it's fancy scratch feed. You can buy it at Orscheln's. And Carolyn puts it in a jar, a little water, lets it ferment for about 3 days. And it actually has a sweet smell to it. I guess it pulls out all that sugar. Might have alcohol in it, I don't know. But they sure do like that. We'll get this lid open, which is never an easy task with one hand. I'm getting better at it though. I know I've said this in lots of videos, but I'm really proud that I didn't give up on this idea on how we design this. It hasn't frozen this year. It's really done an outstanding job, just like I had hoped, that the tank wouldn't freeze, none of the water froze. Matter of fact, one of the neighbors asked if they could have some water. It snowed quite a bit, and so they walked up the hill wondering if they could have a bucket of water. And of course, you know, their trailer had froze up. I guess they lived about a quarter mile down the hill, and I mean, we filled their bucket up. So it tells me something, that I'm living more primitively than most people, yet I was able to survive a winter better than people who have a normal house, I guess is the best way to put it. This is my filtration system. I've showed you this many times before. Okay, so I got the hose laid out. Now I'm going to try to plug in the generator again. It's a hope and a prayer every time, huh? Thing is there's enough water in the tank. If the generator didn't work, there's plenty of time to go get a new generator. I'd have 2 or 3 days left, 4 days of water left. So it's not like it's that critical that it runs all the time. It's nice to have it as a backup to the solar panels in case there's no clouds. So let's give this a try. It's actually been working pretty good. The last few times that I've done it hasn't hiccuped at all. So now I'm going to go up there and make sure the flow is okay, because the hose gets kinked up. So I'll go up there and make sure the flow is okay. I was told the other day that I really need to figure out what I'm doing with this channel. As you know, I've started a second channel, kind of an entertainment channel, community comedy news channel. Yeah, kind of like Norm Macdonald or something, like a weekend update is kind of the premise of the idea. With this channel, I'm not really starting any new projects or anything. It's an off-grid channel, and I've decided that's what it is. If you're going to live off-grid, you got to know what the lifestyle is all about. And so now we're just doing daily chores, and I suppose this person thought that the daily chores was kind of boring, that he comes on the YouTube to be entertained. My channel is just showing boring chores. Well, good news. I've got a second channel. If you're that bored, you can go check out the second channel, and that should ease up your boredom. It's, I don't know, I'll put a link to that at the end of this video. It'll be a up next box that pops up. Check that out. If you And if you are bored with that channel, I put out a video 3 times a week, sometimes 4, on that entertaining channel. And I'm really having a lot of fun with it. It's a lot of fun. And the criticism on that channel isn't near as bad as the criticism on this channel. So it's even easier to deal with the commenters. Which brings me to the next subject. I've talked about us eating pretty much an exclusive meat diet, eggs and meat. And I feel a lot healthier. Well, a while back, somebody criticized me and said the Bible doesn't allow you, God doesn't allow you to eat meat. And I did a lot of little research on it. So last night I get a comment saying something about the Jewish religion. I don't know, it was confusing what they were trying to tell me, but in the end, they were suggesting that I shouldn't eat meat. And it doesn't matter what religion says, it's about let's evolve to be better people and not be so cruel. Here's the thing I struggle with. Why do people insist on governing other people's lives? I don't feel like I govern other people's lives. I try not to. I try not to make their moral values for them. If you want to eat vegetables, eat vegetables. But if you feel like my moral values are bad, that's really none of your concern. I don't see how it affects you at all. If you think I'm being cruel to animals, it's my cruelty, not yours. If you want to save an animal and not eat it, that's your business. I don't understand. But anyway, if you'll check out that other channel, I'd really appreciate it. I'm trying to grow it up, and it's supposed to be a little comedy channel, so I hope I can inspire you. Not pass judgment, so you can live your dreams. Thanks for watching.